r/AskReddit. Men of Reddit, when was the last time you've cried and why? My daughter was born the start of last year. Think I must have cried for a solid hour. Get ready, man. I teared up last year when my son was born. Not a full-on cry, but unexpected emotions. Last night I was feeding my now 10-month-old, and he was in turn feeding my old Doberman, and it just hit me like a wave. Everything was perfect in that moment. My wife started crying because she had never seen me cry. Then my kid started laughing hysterically and my dog barked so loud that he forced a fart out. A perfect moment. While I held my 4-year-old daughter in my arms and realized there was nothing that I could do to save her from dying from mitochondrial disease. I don't think I had ever cried so hard before or since. 7 years later it still haunts me, but time does make it less painful. Month ago, was yelling at my kids because they were misbehaving, and I put them to bed early, broke down afterwards, and cried on the stairs. Knew I didn't have to yell as much, and said some unnecessary things. Wife talked with me on the stairs, and it turned into a turning point in my life, and I'm doing much better with the discipline. It's never too late to apologize and explain to your children why you were yelling. I had to put down my horse cattle dog. It was just me and her for 12 years, and then I got married, and she got sick shortly after. Worst day of my life since my grandfather passed. Added. Here's a pic of her that was usually my phone's wallpaper. SadieImga.com. Yesterday. Grief. Wife died 8 months ago. She was the love of my life and my best friend. Walking into rehab when almost no one knew I was going. 60 days later I am sober as hell and going to be a sober dad. When my father was so grumpy he kept on shouting at my mom that she ran out of the house with her keys. I joined her a little later outside and sat with her till she went home, and then went to my GF and cried on her shoulders. Didn't realize I cared so much about Kobe until I stayed leaky-eyed for 20 minutes watching the coverage Sunday. It was over the weekend. I was reaching out to a few different friends to see what they're up to, but everyone else had pre-existing plans. It hit me hard when I realized that I'm always making an effort to reach out, but I don't get the same in return. I do a lot of the work, and when I try to make plans, there's always something that comes up, or they're too busy. I cry all the time. For various reasons. I'm nearly 30 years old. I actually think it is healthy to do so. Whenever I've finished crying, I always feel so much better about whatever it is. About 5 minutes ago, one of my nephews is currently in surgery for something his doctors have never seen in a kid his age before. I just got news from my sister that best case scenario has happened, and they were able to take care of things. He should be out of the or in half the time as was expected. So, yeah. Crying in relief at my desk at work. Going up to see him in a couple days. It's hard to explain what it means to have kids like him in your life. Edit. I just found out that he is out of surgery and everything was successful. Huge weight off my mind. Took a small jet away trip. About 8-hour drive few weeks back due to stress. I played all of the songs I shouldn't play on the drive up and let myself unwind in the car and get all of that stuff out. Job stress. Feelings toward my ex. The whole gamut. Did me well. Edit. Gamut. Edit. To everyone ming me. Thank you for your stories. Life can be hard. Make time to find the gentle solitude you need. We'll all make it through this in time. Slowly, but surely. This last weekend, after a night of drinks, a very good friend of mine and I were ending the night at her apartment. We had been chatting for a bit when at one point, she redirected the conversation and began to beam about how she is proud of the man I've become. She talked about my character, how I treat people, and my habits. She told me there are things I do that she admires, things that I've been doing for years, and that I thought no one noticed. It was a very tender moment and I couldn't help tearing up. I've never had a friend or loved one, other than a relative, say such beautiful things about me. Bless her soul. I don't know what I would do without her. To say that she is an amazing person won't be enough. Edit. Hey everyone. Really appreciate all the love this post is getting. I am currently at work and don't have the time to respond to everyone's messages. I am planning on coming back to this comment once I have some more time. My ex-fiancé left me after I spent 9 days in the hospital battling dual pneumonia and almost dying. A couple days ago in the shower, the song "You Can Let Go Now Daddy" came on. My grandpa had an aneurysm blow and my mom sang that song to him when they unplugged the machines. It'll always make me cry. I cried last night. About 2 years ago my dad received a Parkinson's diagnosis, and he is not responding well to treatment and doesn't take care of himself. I started writing about him, what our relationship was, and what it could have been, and sobbed a lot. Months ago when my best friend was found dead in his car after a week-long search for him, turned out he killed himself. Woke up at 4 AM after dreaming my dad told me he has days to live, then realized he is actually dead. This morning, we lost a son who was born at 20 weeks a few weeks ago. He lived for 2 hours and died in my arms. Every time I close my eyes I see him. I know it'll get better in time, but for now it's rough. Last Friday, I hadn't seen a group of friends for a long time, and none of them asked how the past 3 months had been. How's the last 3 months been? Last time I got teary-eyed cats in the cradle. Last time I cried, wow, years ago. Must have been when I lost my job, got dumped and my grandfather died, all within 6 hours. That was enough to set me over the edge. Last year on my birthday, because I made it this far and some of my friends did not. When my GF broke up with me through a phone call after 6 years. Just couldn't he hold it together. Edit. Thanks for all the kind words and such. It has been a few weeks and I feel a bit better by now. We also met up and talked about it a bit. The sadness and frustration's still there, but she found the guts to talk to me about it personally, and I appreciate that. Says she wanna stay friends and all that stuff, but whatever. No idea how that's supposed to work out. Definitely can't just pretend nothing happened lol. I am in the process of moving out and had quite the day. So thanks again. Really appreciate. Hope gets better for all of you commenting that you experienced the same. Last Friday I was fairly drunk and thought about how much I love my nieces and nephews. I cry pretty often. About every other week or so. It's not healthy for men to bottle up their emotions and not cry for months or years at a time. Last week at our first ultrasound, wife and I have had 2 miscarriages, and we had an appointment and saw the heartbeat. This little peanut has stuck around the longest so far. Fingers crossed. I was tucking in my 7-year-old daughter a couple of months ago, and she told me that she was worried about me dying before her. I'm only 42 and healthy, so I had a conversation about how old I'm likely to live, and that she will be an adult when I die. Then she said, but when you do die will you help me? Because I need you so much. And I lost it. A few weeks ago, when one of my best friends told me he's going to be a dad, I can go for months and months without shedding a single tear. But these news got me really emotional. In the best sense of the word. This has been an eye-opening experience for me, as I had no idea I was capable of feeling such things. Last month, when my daughter was born. Edit. Wow. Thank you so much everyone for your kind words, and for the gold and silver. The little one sends hugs and kisses to each and every one of you. My friend and gym partner killed himself on November 5th, and I didn't know for a whole week. I was texting him daily things like, hey man, where are you at? Are we lifting today? Did I do something wrong? Why aren't you replying? Hey man, if you don't respond to this message I am calling the police for a welfare check. And then a friend found the GoFundMe on Facebook. I cried so hard and loud that I heard my roommate approach my door to knock. He heard me through the door and did a quick about face to retreat back to his room. Today someone approached me in the gym saying, hey man, do you know what happened to Run? He was in my class and just stopped showing up one day last semester, and I went full deer in the headlights before straightforwardly answering he killed himself, then returning to my workout to avoid the emotions and awkwardness. I started drinking at 8 AM today, so I got that going for me. Hey guys, I appreciate the concern and I assure you I anything but an alcoholic. Just had a moment of shock. I am going to take a nap, take the dog for a long walk, then get back to it as I usually do. Once again I appreciate those who reached out, but I am going to be fine. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a thumbs up, comment your own stories, and don't forget to subscribe for new videos daily.